Valvoline Restore and Protect. The ads claim it cleans pistons. We've even seen how it cleaned the dipstick on my wife's van. But what we haven't seen yet is the inside of an engine before and after using Valvoline Restore and Protect. Hi, I'm Lake, the motor oil geek. Let's take a peek inside a 500,000 mile engine that just finished running on Valvoline Restore and Protect. Because Roger England from Valvoline is a good friend of mine, he happened to mention they were about to put back together the Ford EcoBoost engine that had just finished inspection after running for 500,000 miles on conventional oil. Their plan was to run it for about 150 hours on Valvoline Restore and Protect and tear it apart again for another inspection. So I asked Roger if I could get used oil samples from that test. That would be kind of cool information to have. And he said yes. In fact, he invited me to come up to their secret R&D lab for the inspection, and you get to come along too. Before we head up to Ashland, Kentucky, let's take a look at those oil sample results. So we're going to look at the first, the middle two, and the last on this engine. And we're going to start with the particle count. Now remember, the particle count doesn't tell you what it is, it just tells you how many particles are in the oil of different sizes. So you would think that as the Restore and Protect is cleaning the engine, that particle count should increase. And that's exactly what we see from these results. That very first oil drain, we're looking at 5,401 particles greater than 4 micron in size in the oil, which translates into a ISO cleanliness code of 2017-11. By the time we get to those middle samples though, that particle count starts to increase. We're up to 17,070 particles greater than 4 micron in the oil. And now that ISO cleanliness code is up to 211812. So every time that number increases, the number of particles doubles. And by that last sample, we're still at 211712. That particle count's still a little bit elevated from where it began, which means it's still doing some cleaning in that engine. Of course, after 500,000 miles on conventional oil, I could imagine that there were some pretty nasty baked on deposits. So the Restore and Protect definitely has its work cut out for it in trying to clean up an engine like that. So next, let's look at the fuel dilution. And you might be wondering why. Here's the key thing about the Restore and Protect that made me very intrigued about it in the very first place. Remember, I'm a piston ring guy from way back, and deposits in your ring grooves inhibit the travel and the function of the piston rings. So if the fuel dilution changes over time, gets lower, well, that could be a sign that the piston ring grooves are being cleaned up. And that's exactly what we see. So we start off at 0.82% fuel dilution in that first 24-hour sample. By the middle, we're down to 0.76, 0.75, but by that last sample, the end of the test, we're down to 0.66 on the fuel dilution. So we're seeing an improvement in fuel dilution over the course of this test, which could correlate to cleaning up of the ring grooves and improving the function of the piston rings. I'm really curious to see the teardown now and see what those piston ring grooves look like after seeing these results. They say imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, so I guess Valvoline should feel fairly flattered because Mobil 1 has launched Advanced Clean, making very similar claims as Restore and Protect. But you know me, I hate oil marketing, but I love oil chemistry. So if you're interested in a shootout between Mobil 1 Advanced Clean and Restore and Protect, let me know in those comments below and we can organize that test. So that's the Restore part of the Restore and Protect. Let's see what that Protect part looks like. Let's check out these wear metals to see what story we're seeing from that. And what we see is really no change in the wear metals. So looking at the iron, the copper, the aluminum, there's really no change, very consistent, which kind of makes sense. This engine's got 500,000 mile All these parts are really broken in. And so whatever's being cleaned up isn't adversely affecting the wear in the engine. And one thing we do see here is the silicon level dropping. In this case, the silicon is from the RTV sealants used to reassemble the engine. We see this all the time on brand new engines or rebuilt engines. That silicon level is going to be super high and then drop with each subsequent oil change because those are from the sealants that are used to put the engine together. So overall, there's no warning flags here. There's a few signs that there might be some cleanup going on. So let's go ahead, head up to Ashland, Kentucky, and see what's inside that engine. So by the way, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all the YouTube things. Because without your support, we couldn't make videos like this. We're able to go to places like Valvoline or Donaldson or Chevron Phillips because I have inside connections, not because they sponsor the videos. It's your support, your views that allow us to be able to afford to travel and do things like this while maintaining our independence. So thank you so much for making this possible. All right, we're here. Let's go inside and check it out. So one interesting thing about these EcoBoost engines is that they're a wet belt engine design, which means the oil pump is belt driven and that belt is actually submerged in oil. And according to internet mythology, that means that some oils can damage that belt. I'm not saying that if you have completely filthy, nasty, dirty oil and there's contamination that somehow or another that couldn't damage the belt. But if you are using an API, SP, or SQ rated motor oil, one that's officially licensed that has the donut on it, the chances of the oil damaging that wet belt are basically zero. How can I say that and not be speculating, right? Science, not speculation. The answer's right here. This Ford wet belt from an EcoBoost is made of HNBR. And every API SP and SQ rated motor oil must pass material compatibility tests, one of which is for HNBR. So the Valvoline Restore Protect, which is both API, SP, and SQ rated, passes that materials compatibility test, which is a great reason not to use an additive in your motor oil, because no additive has to pass those same material compatibility tests. All right, so the guys have finished tearing down this 500,000 mile engine that's run on conventional oil. This is the one. Now, interesting thing here, when we look at the parts, like say here in the very front cover area, the oil pan, those kind of areas, we're not seeing a ton of cleanup. I mean, those are hard baked on varnishes from 500,000 miles with conventional oil. So it didn't really overload it, which is good, right? It didn't clean it up so much that it would overload the filter or something like that. But what's really interesting is that after this engine ran for the conventional oil for 500,000 miles, all 4 second rings were stuck. And 3 of the oil control rings were stuck. Well, that's a huge problem. Again, as a piston ring guy, when you have stuck rings, that means they're not working correctly. You're gonna have increased oil consumption, higher blow by. You're gonna get more deposits building up on the pistons. One thing about these engines, they've got knock sensors. So it's actually measuring and listening to detonation in the engine. So if the engine gets too much carbon buildup in the pistons because of stuck rings, it's going to start pulling back timing. That's a loss of efficiency in your engine. So you can easily lose fuel economy as well as have higher oil consumption when you have stuck piston rings. I can tell you, there isn't any really good way of unsticking piston rings. I know there's all kinds of mechanic in a can, stuff you can throw in there, but you don't know what you're gonna get with that, right? And you already know, I'm a big fan of don't use additives, just use good engine oil. And before Restore and Protect, there really wasn't a great option for cleaning up dirty engines or unsticking rings. But check this out. Here is the piston after running Restore and Protect for several oil changes. Look at that. That is completely clean. I wish you could have like a microscope view of how clean these ring grooves are, because it's the itty bitty deposits in the ring grooves that actually inhibit the motion of the ring. Remember, today's modern piston rings, they're thinner, they're lower tension. That enables better fuel economy. We've gone through this in plenty of other videos. I'll leave a link in the description box below for some of those videos about piston ring tension and how much power there is to be gained in doing that. But I'm telling you right now, these thinner piston rings enable better fuel economy. But the downside is, if you have deposits building up in your pistons, that's going to make these things easier to be stuck. And you're going to lose some of that effective tension. And when that tension goes down, you lose oil control. And we just talked about it. When you lose oil control, you're going to get more deposits. That's going to lead to detonation, other bad issues. You don't want deposits in your pistons. You've seen this with piston before probably. This is from the 3H test where they built up these deposits. Or just go to your local junkyard, tear apart any engine, look inside. You're going to see deposits just like this on any high mileage engine. One big downside to these deposits, they inhibit heat transfer. There are piston oilers in these engines, spraying oil on the bottom side of these pistons. If you think about this piston versus, say, an older piston from 2 decades ago, these pistons are a lot smaller than before. There's a lot more mass in those older pistons. Well, why are the pistons today so much smaller? It's because we're using oil as a coolant. Those jets are cooling the piston, which enables you to have a lighter, smaller piston, which is better for power. But if I have heavy deposits that prevent the proper heat transfer, I can easily overheat the piston. I think you're getting the point here that deposits are bad for heat transfer and for your pistons and for your piston rings. And when you can come up with a product, when you can literally just pour in oil and just do an oil change and get pistons that are this clean, that is incredibly crazy good. I've never seen a product that can do something like this before. Again, as a piston ring guy, I'm blown away by what this is seeing. And these results match exactly what we saw from the used oil analysis. We saw that fuel dilution went down. Why did it go down? Because the rings, as you can see, they're no longer stuck. We've unstuck the rings just by running Valvoline Restore and Protect. Again, that's crazy. That's why fuel dilution went down. We also saw the particle count go up. Where were those particles coming from? Not everywhere in the engine to overwhelm the filter, just coming from the parts that are the most important, the piston ring grooves. I know, I sound like a fanboy. Guilty as charged, right? This video isn't sponsored. This is me telling you what I'm seeing, holding in my hands. This is a 500,000 mile piston that was nasty dirty before, and it's super clean now. It's made a believer out of me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.